She read the letter too late. Thursday, 7:47 p.m., just like the letter said. The bell rang 3 times, not a distant church chime, but a sound sharp enough to slice through bone. And in that moment, she understood. This wasn't poetry. It was a warning, one she ignored. As the clock marked the final second, she stood frozen, the letter trembling in her hands, her eyes locked onto something that shouldn't have been there. Something only she could see. There was no time left for doubt, no space for escape, just one truth ringing clearer than the bells. Someone somewhere knew too much about her future, and that someone didn't want her to leave. You're in Tales of the Watcher, where fates are glimpsed, not told, and every step you take is seen by eyes you'll never meet. The air hums with secrets, daring you to listen. Stick around, subscribe for the journey, and in today's story, the house was too big for her. It came with no ceremony, just a signature on a will and a lawyer who spoke too fast. To my grandniece, Sophia, I leave my residence in Villa Rosario, as it stands. Sophia barely remembered Aunt Teresa, just a blurry photo tucked in a family album, a stern woman with hollow eyes. When she arrived, the air inside the house felt still. Not abandoned, but paused. On her first morning there, the neighbor, Mrs. Lourdes, waved her over. "You're Lydia's daughter?" Sophia nodded. "Teresa used to say you'd come, said the house would know when." She didn't know what to make of that. For 2 weeks she lived like a guest. She didn't move the furniture, she didn't open the attic, until the day she decided to repaint the back room. The plaster gave way with barely a touch, and behind it, something wedged between the wooden beams, a sealed envelope, waxed, unmarked, untouched by dust or time. Just one word written on the front, Sophia. It wasn't Aunt Teresa's handwriting, and no one should have known she'd be there. Not even she had planned it, until 3 months ago. She opened the letter that same day, sat at the kitchen table under the soft amber glow of an old lamp. The wax seal broke with a quiet snap, like a breath held too long. The paper smelled like time itself. The first line, "You are exactly where you're meant to be." Then came fragments. Thursday, 7:47 p.m. 3 bells. "A choice will be made for you. Don't trust the man who watches the clock." She blinked. The words made no sense, but something in her gut whispered, "Not yet." Over the next few days, strange things began to echo from the letter. The mailman, João, delivered a package to the wrong address. "Sorry, Miss Sophia. Haven't seen this name in years. Teresa used to get odd letters too." At the street market, a woman offered her a handmade wind chime. When it rang, the sound matched the one from her dreams. And then came Hugo, her new neighbor, warm smile, neat jacket, a pocket watch he checked every 10 minutes. "Was my grandfather's," he said. "I like knowing when things change." Those words hit her harder than they should have. That night, she found the letter again, on her nightstand. She hadn't put it there. And now, at the bottom of the page, a new line had appeared. "You're about to see him. Again." Thursday came quietly. Sophia tried to keep the day ordinary. Dishes, music, laundry, but the clock never stopped whispering. At 5 p.m., a knock on the door. "Hugo." "I brought some tea," he said, smiling. "Figured you might want company tonight." He talked about books and small towns and how everything was always changing, but his eyes kept drifting to the clock on the wall every 5 minutes. At 6:30 p.m., he stood up. "Be careful with what you leave unfinished," he said. She didn't ask what he meant. She was afraid to know. At 7:45, footsteps creaked upstairs, but no one else lived there. The hallway was empty. The air turned heavy, as if the house was holding its breath. At 7:46, the wall clock stopped. The second hand froze mid-tick. At 7:47, 3 chimes. Not from outside, not from any bell she could see. They came from within the house. She stood still, heart pounding. On the table, the letter waited again, untouched, but no longer unchanged. This time, a new sentence had formed. The AE. First trial is passed. Time is yours now. Then, the doorbell rang. A plain envelope slid under the door. Inside, a ticket, a date, a location. Confirmed. Room 9, Central Station, 10 p.m. Only for those who know. She hadn't RSVP'd, but her name was printed in bold and on the back of the invitation. That same unmistakable handwriting. She packed that night, not out of impulse, but because deep down, she knew this wasn't over. She took the original letter, the envelope, the clock that had stopped. At dawn, she boarded the train to São Paulo. No one asked questions. No one noticed her. But when she arrived at the station, her steps followed something invisible. She found the door. Room 9, a dried flower taped to the frosted glass. Inside, 9 chairs. 8 were already taken. Each person held a letter. One looked at her like they'd been waiting. Then the door opened. A man in a charcoal suit entered. Calm, certain, smiling. "The last one is here," he said. "Welcome, Sophia. Your letter arrived right on time." She didn't speak. She didn't need to, because somehow she already knew. This wasn't the end of the story. It was just the beginning. And the watch in the man's hand, old brass, ticking, showed the exact time, 47 p.m.